Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video.
It's often described as the largest, most successful slave rebellion in the Western Hemisphere, where freedom was taken by force and independence declared from Europe. But where the French Revolution ended monarchy and the American Revolution marked the end of British rule, the Haitian Revolution sounded the death knell for slavery around the world. So, hello, welcome to Nerdy and Quirky. Here's some cool history. Like most American atrocities, our story begins with Christopher Columbus. In the 16th century, he founded an island called Hispaniola and claimed it for Spain. But by the 17th century, after clearing the gold deposits and killing most of the native people with European diseases, Spanish interest in the island waned, and other nations began to claim territory. Notably, France. This is the reason why modern-day Hispaniola is divided between the Spanish-speaking Dominican Republic and the French-speaking Haiti. Now, French landowners, keen to grow sugar crops, imported a lot of African slaves, and unsurprisingly, the work conditions were not good. Almost all of them were subject to hard labor. The only ones exempt were women in late pregnancies and nursing infants. The average life expectancy was less than 7 years. It was so bad that King Louis XIV issued the Code Noir, which intended to regulate slave treatment, but the French slave owners barely followed it. By the 18th century, Haiti was the richest French colony, but this wealth was left unfelt by the slaves. Now, there were 4 groups on the island with distinct priorities. The white plantation owners wanted to open their trade up beyond France. The Petits Blancs were European settlers who were not plantation owners. They were tired of the high taxes resulting from French involvement in the American Revolution. The Free Africans, who were composed of people of mixed heritage and also runaway slaves. In many cases, they were richer than the Petits Blancs, but still mistreated due to their skin. And then there were the slaves, who did not want to be slaves. They also happened to be the most populous group by far, numbering in the hundreds of thousands, while the others were in the tens of thousands. Another thing happening in the 18th century, specifically 1789, the beginning of the French Revolution, which you could learn all about using that link. And now this is where things get interesting, because that revolution was all about empowering the people. The French passed legislation allowing local proprietors to become active citizens, in other words, letting them play a role in government. Now, this was meant to satisfy colonial desires for autonomy, but it just incited rage since it meant that wealthier Africans held more power than some Petits Blancs. And tensions just furthered in 1791 when these richer Africans were granted French citizenship, a right totally ignored by Haitian Europeans. So that year, led by former slave Toussaint Louverture, or Toussaint Louverture, the enslaved began a rebellion against slave owners. And remember, the slaves composed the greatest part of this population. By 1792, they controlled over a third of the island, and they didn't stop there. France sent reinforcements to try and quell the rebellion, but it didn't work. In fact, a commissioner named LÉGER, FÉLICITÉ, SONTONAX was sent to maintain order, but he just ended up abolishing slavery on the island altogether. This meant that Haiti became the first and last colony in the Americas where slave freedom was taken by force. But it wasn't over. Freedom had more battles yet. But first, it's sponsor time!
This video was sponsored by Squarespace. You probably already know what it is, but in case you didn't, whether you need a domain, website, or online store, Squarespace provides these gorgeous customizable templates to create a beautiful website without ever having to install, patch, or upgrade ever. I used it to make my website, which has a write-up of every episode of Cool History and will soon feature some bonus content. I've always wanted a website like this, and Squarespace made it incredibly easy and fun to make. So check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/nerdyandquirky to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Alright, back to the video.
So slavery was abolished in Haiti, but remember, the French Revolution was happening at the same time. This meant that decisions made one day could be overturned the next, and that is exactly what happened when Napoleon came to power. Napoleon sent his brother Charles Leclerc and 43,000 troops to reconquer the island and re-establish slavery. Now Leclerc and Louverture, alright, I give up on the French accent. Leclerc and Louverture fought for months, and just when they believed they reached an armistice, it turned out to be a French trap, and Louverture was captured and he died in jail. But his dream lived on, succeeded by Jean-Jacques Dessalines and André Christophe. Ooh, the accent's back! The two led a revolutionary army into battle in 1803, driving out continental French forces. They escaped slavery, and when slavery tried to claim them once more, they beat it again. And on New Year's Day in 1804, Dessalines declared Haiti independent from France. This made them the second country in the world to ever ever declare independence from a European power, and also put them in line to become the first Black Republic. And with these revolutions resounding worldwide, America, France, Haiti, a recognition of at least some semblance of humanity began to be recognized in all people. And 3 years later, in 1807, Britain ended the transatlantic slave trade, hammering the final nail in the coffin of slavery. 2 points of acknowledgement, because I know someone's going to bring it up. 1, yes, Britain may have abolished the slave trade also because Napoleon liked slavery and Britain and France have this weird "I don't like anything you like" thing going on. The decision likely had multiple motivations. And 2, not only is slavery still kind of a thing around the world, in the Western Hemisphere we are still feeling the repercussions of racial inequality that was hardened in times of slavery. But I wanted to start the year off optimistically, I guess. Well, that was just some cool history on the Haitian Revolution. Now, what about you guys? What should I talk about next? The American Revolution or the invention of colors? Really, it's a revolution or a revelation. Now listen to my declaration. Tell me down below if you enjoyed this video or you just want to support the show. Make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. But either way, have a lovely day.